Alex Puna with Kids at Crosstrain with Michael Aswell, who's coming off a big win at Fury FC 64. Michael, how are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy to be talking with you. Um, Dude, it's been 4 days since your fight. How you feeling?
I'm feeling well. The first couple of days you're always just a little sore, and you're just kind of your body's aching a little bit. But now my body's finally starting to feel good. I'm rested, and it's after a couple of days just looking over, watching the fight, and just thinking about it. I feel good. I feel like I'm in a good place right now.
Was there any injuries?
No, nothing severe. Just checking leg kicks and throwing kicks. Your leg kind of just swells up a little bit, so it's just kind of tight. It's hard to walk a little bit. Your leg's just so sore, but it was good. It kind of felt like I had like a little dead leg in my thigh too. But it's been 4 days now, so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like I can start running a little bit, start getting out there and just moving around.
What did you do the day after your fight?
Actually, we went out to eat to a place called Fogo de Chao. It was like me, my dad, my girlfriend, and then like our couple of my friends and sponsors and stuff, and just ate a lot of meat. And then I was just it's like unlimited. So if you haven't been there, it's there's like a little green or red plate. If you want to just keep eating, they keep bringing them like different meats around. You leave it on green, and then whenever you're done, you'll flip it over to red, and then they'll stop bringing the meat around. And I was supposed to go out, and celebrate, but I was so full, I just went to sleep. At like 11, I went to bed. Woke up, was like, that was probably a good decision.
Fantastic, fantastic. Let's talk about it. How do you feel about your performance?
Initially, initially just like when in the moment, I was like, I really wanted to finish. Really, was like I felt like I could have done a lot better. And then getting out of the cage, and my team was just telling me that was a really good fight. It's just kind of the fights that you have sometimes that those guys are just tough and sturdy, and you don't want to just sit there and exchange hard shot for hard shot. Sometimes you kind of just got to make it gritty and dirty. So, looking back, initially I didn't think I did that well. Looking back, there was a lot of positives I seen. Just, my stand up, my footwork. Throwing a lot more kicks, leg kicks, checking a lot of kicks. That was probably the most leg kicks I've checked in all of my fights. Usually I'll just kind of just let them, just touch and tap. And so I've seen a lot of positives from my training, and then just listening. I know one of my people in my corner sent me a video of like he called something out, and then he called it out and I threw it. So I think just having the presence of mind in the cage a little bit too was a big positive for my performance. So I think overall, there's definitely areas where I need to work on, definitely places where I need to get better at. But I think progression wise and just the way I've looked and the way I felt in there, I think there's a lot of positives, to take away for sure.
What was the game plan going into the fight?
The game plan is it's usually always the same. It's just to implement my pressure and to implement my game plan and not really worry about what he's doing, more worry about what I'm doing and worry about the things that I can control. Just my distance and being able to control the pressure. Always having a forward pressure, just kind of always being in his face. I know he was going to throw a lot of hard leg kicks to start off, and a lot of overhands, a lot of looping overhands. Just trying to get that one punch knockout. So if I knew I can kind of be in his space a little bit, put that pressure forward. It's hard to throw heavy shots, on your back foot. Only a certain amount of people can really punch going backwards. And then having power punching going backwards is a whole nother thing too. So I just knew just keeping my pressure, just staying in his face. I knew he wasn't gonna like that, and I know he wanted to just keep coming forward and try to, just dominate on that aspect of it. So it's really just trying to, fight my fight. And I think that's the biggest game plan that I always have going in.
What do you when would you like to return, and like what do you want the rest of your year to look like?
I want to continue to get better. When I want to fight next, that's up to when Fury wants me to fight, or whenever they call me and they say, hey, this is a good day for you. I usually at least 2 months just to usually when I fight I fight with just like I said, a lot of pressure. and I'm okay taking some shots too. So usually, that's how I practice too. So I usually just take like a good, 4 or 5 days like I am now, and just kind of just relax my body. It's one thing that I try to do is focus on my body. I just know we go through a lot, not just in the fight, but, through training camp. And I'm just going to continue just to get in the gym and get better on the things that I want to get better on. Fight, maybe, if we want to fight in 3 months, 4 months, fight whenever. I think I'm game, whenever. I want to fight as much as I can. I think every time I step in the cage, I just grow, as a fighter and a person. So, I mean, I'm ready to get in there whenever, fight whenever, So
Awesome.
maybe my birthday September. That'd be cool.
That would be nice. I wanted to ask, so do you cross train with Glory and Metro Fight Club?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. That it recently started once my coach passed away.
Okay.
And I wouldn't say I really felt lost. I was more just in a weird limbo because I've been with him since I was 14. He was kind of the only MMA coach I've ever had. Like whatever he would say, I would do. Like there was no hesitation and no questions asked. And so it was just I was just in a weird little limbo, I guess. And I was, my agency was kind of just like, hey, well, would you like to try, Glory and James? James is a really good friend of mine. I think you would really enjoy it and like it. And I was like, sure, I mean, I'm cool to train wherever. And I thought at the time it'd be good for me kind of just get away from Houston. I never really left Houston before. I've always been there my whole life. And so I kind of just was in a random spot, Lee Summit, Missouri, by myself, just living by myself and just really just trained, just only had to focus on training. And I met James and how he conducts the practice. All the people there were super, super cool. And I was out there for a whole month just by myself, training, waking up, training. Just the only thing on my mind is training. Don't really have to worry about anything else. And I kind of just fell in love with, just being away from everything and being away from a bunch of distractions and just being able to train. And just listening to James talk, he's such a smart, such a great mind for the game and life in general. And so I started training over there, and I was like, I think I found, a home away from home, somewhere I can go away to kind of just get my mind right, kind of get into a routine and just get away from all the, the little distractions that sometimes it's easy to creep up and, take you away from what you're trying to accomplish. So, yeah, so I've been cross training there. I usually spend a month out there, like a whole month training there, and then I'll get back in Houston and train a whole month here. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I've talked with Cameron about it, Cameron Smotherman and Adrian.
Yeah,
So I mean, how hard did the loss of Saul affect you? And I believe the first fight after he passed away, was that against Zachariah Thorne?
That was.
So
Yes,
I mean, just after that fight, man, like what were the emotions like, and just kind of like you already said, you've been with Saul since you're a kid, man.
Yeah.
What was the loss like meant to you?
It meant a lot to me. I mean, growing up, I didn't really struggle with loss too much. My aunt passed away. That was probably the hardest loss I've had. So when he passed away, that was kind of one of like the most important people to me that has passed away, during my time. And I think it was the fact that we just had so many goals and aspirations together, how we talk and sit down and be like, this is, what we want to accomplish together, and not having them there to like accomplish it together. I think that was something that really just kind of, affected me pretty heavily. It's tough just because he was not even the fighting aspect. He just really taught me to, how to become a man and, about a lot of life lessons about, how life's just going to come and there's nothing you can do about it, and I just learned so much from him that, it was hard to see him go. So after that first fight, it was just a lot of emotions. I just remember thinking I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. I never really thought I was going to fight. And I just remember one time I was doing jujitsu for a while. I was doing the kickboxing class, and he kind of just pulled me to the side, and just tells me that he sees something in me, and he doesn't say this to anyone. He's like, I don't just tell anyone this. I don't, if you know Saul, he was kind of just really hard nosed, rugged, and just says whatever's on his mind. And so, and when he told me that, I kind of just my whole mindset changed, and he told me that he could make me, that I could be somebody, if you let me train him. And it's tough, but I just know that like you said, that life doesn't stop for anyone. That you just got to keep going, and I'm just trying to build, continue to fight and win, and just build up his legacy. Because everything that I've learned was from him, the foundations, the basics, and I know there's so much more to grow. And I think that's another part that hurt, is that there was just so much more to learn from him. And it's like I wish I could have like talked to him longer, or maybe we could, the times I was like, no, I gotta go, I can't eat today, with you. So, it affected a lot, but I know that, he's still with us, he's still with me, and I just gotta continue just to keep getting better, for him, and be able to, talk about his legacy. Because once you stop talking about him, that's when he's gone forever, so
Absolutely.
just
Awesome, man. Well, you touched on it a little bit. For anybody that does not know your story, how did you get into mixed martial arts?
it's kind of a funny story. I my whole life I've been an athlete. So I've always played sports growing up, baseball, football, soccer, just whatever. And I was really into football at the time. And I didn't play for one season. I think there was some rules. And there was these cheerleaders that like cheer for like my football team, that they're doing jujitsu at, Coach Shaw's gym. And they're telling me like, hey, like I know you're not playing football. If you want to stay in shape, or we really think you'd be good at jujitsu. I was like, okay, sure. Like, I'm down for anything really, And I just go and I go into jujitsu class and just start rolling. I think I like went to sleep my first class, I didn't tab. And then I just remember after my mom was like, so how was it on? And then, she said she could just see like the smile on my face, that, I just really loved it. I loved like the individual aspect of it. A lot of sports, it's more team aspect. It's like if I mess up, it's my fault. There's, more if the team messes up, there's nothing you can do, So I just kept going, and I just remember I was training a lot, in the morning, middle of the day. I was just training as much as I could, 5 days a week, just jujitsu though. I mean, I would do like the kickboxing class a little bit, but it was mainly just jujitsu. I never really thought I was gonna fight or anything. I was like, I'm gonna play football, I don't need to fight. So I did a bunch of competitions, Naga, and tournament of champions, and just kind of getting my feet wet, And then I went to high school and started playing football. I didn't really, go as much as, I was. And I think it came my sophomore year when I started wrestling in high school, that I was like, well, maybe if I, go back to doing jujitsu, that'll help with my wrestling. And then I started doing it. And then I was doing the kickboxing class. I was trying to lose weight, for wrestling, try to get into like the certain wrestling class. I was kind of big. I was probably like around 210, 215, for football, because I was lifting a lot. I was pretty strong. I was playing linebacker and running back. So I was kind of big. And then that's when coach kind of pulled me aside and told me everything. And I was like, we'll see how, everything works out with football. And then I didn't really play as much as I thought I would and stuff. And then I kind of just started focusing on wrestling, which made me really focus on the fighting. And then I started cutting the weight down, started wrestling in like, lower weight classes. And then I remember I had my first fight when I was 17. And I actually lost my first fight against a pretty tough dude. I think he was like 3-0, 4-0 at the time, all like first round finishes. And I was doing good, I was standing up with him. And I think he tapped me out in the second. And then after that, I just remember that first loss, like the feeling. I did not like that feeling at all. And I told myself, I do not want to feel like that again. And then after that, I just kind of just dedicated my life to it. Because I was like 17, really. So about past 4 years now.
Awesome.
But yeah. And I don't think I haven't lost since that first one either.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Yeah, absolutely, man. How long did it take you to get down from 200 to 145?
I started like my sophomore, kind of into sophomore, maybe like a good. At the time, what was I doing? I was doing keto. My friend was losing weight too with me. he was also on the wrestling team, and he wanted to lose down. He was like 220 also. I think I just clicked something. So and this is like right before keto kind of got like a big thing. No one was really talking about it, but he was like, he's kind of into the nutritional side of stuff. And that's what he studies. He even studies it now. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. So I told my mom about it. And then my mom was the biggest reason I even got down. She would cook every single morning. She would give me, my coffee. She was making everything for me that I needed to eat throughout the day. So, and keto is, I don't know if you ever done it, but it happens quick. Like when you lose your weight, you drop it fast. So I remember dropping the first 20 pounds in like a month, like super fast. And then, I was just dropping and dropping and dropping. And I think within maybe 6 to 7 months, I dropped maybe like 50 pounds or something. Yeah. But she was cooking me everything. I was not cheating on anything. And I remember getting down and my coach was like, yep. He told me, he's like, if you can get to 145 pounds, I'll let you fight for me. So that was my whole goal for, months and months. And I told my mom, and she's like, okay, well, we'll do what we can. And then, I'm walking around like 60 and he's like, yeah, we can work with that. It's good. But yeah, about maybe 6, 7 months, fast ketos, quick, and then working out. I mean, I was working out like crazy, I would have like open periods during high school and I would just go to the track. I'd go run on the track or the treadmill and just running every single day and, just doing everything I felt that I was necessary to, get there for what I wanted to do.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. It's awesome to hear, man. Cool, man. Michael, thank you so much for your time, man. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. If you want to plug your social media, plug any sponsors you might got, you want to thank anybody,
Okay.
the floor is yours.
Okay. Well, my Instagram is _Michael Aswell MMA. Facebook, Michael Aswell. Twitter is _Aswell Michael. Just appreciate all my, people that just support me, all the love I feel. My dad always, he's kind of like my dadager, he kind of takes care of everything and always make sure if I need anything, my mom, cooking, just being there, backbone. I guess all my sponsors, I mean, there's a lot, to plug, but my fraternity brothers, at U of H, all, I mean, I could go on for a while, but just everyone does just continue to just follow me and support me. It just means a lot. So thank you for that. My agency, Team Metro, Glory, James, Kraus, appreciate all y'all. So yeah, I appreciate you having me. This is awesome. I know I just be rambling and talking. I forget that I just keep talking and talking. I can go all day, but whenever you want to have me, I'm available and free. So I appreciate you having me again. It was super cool, super dope.